Here are 3 things likely to happen if runner's knee is ignored. Number 1 is the deeper root problem festers. There's a root cause of runner's knee, and it's called a muscle imbalance. Let me show you what I mean here. In a knee joint, you have quad muscles on the front of the thigh. Those muscles come together and attach to the kneecap. There's the kneecap right there. If those quad muscles on the front of the thigh are too strong or too overdeveloped or too dominant, then they'll pull on the front of the knee right here, the kneecap itself, the tendon, and the ligament, and that's why you get pain in the front of the knee, especially during and after a run. If you're doing this too much, then it just gets worse over time. That imbalance of this muscle on the front of the thigh being too dominant or strong is the problem. We've got to get another muscle, it's usually the glute muscle on the back of the hip, stronger, and then teach the quad muscle to not compensate for that weak glute. Then you can begin to take pressure off all these body parts on the front of the knee and allow your knee to feel better and be able to go back to running without problems. The issue is that if you just take time off running, it's probably going to feel better. You're not going to hurt in the front of your knee, but as soon as you go back to running, if you're not addressing that root problem, it's going to fester. It's still going to be there. It may not hurt right away when you get back to running, but eventually as you pick up your mileage, as you pick up your speed, your intensity, then it's likely to come back. And sometimes it's not in the same knee that hurt. It might be the other knee that bothers you, because very often people have this muscle imbalance on both sides. Now, some people try to run through it without fixing the root problem, and of course it's going to get worse as you run through it. Some people will get the false feedback of it improving because you might hurt at the start of a run in the front of your knee, but then it gets better. And so people say, if I just run more, I'll be able to defeat my runner's knee and I'll be okay. This is false thinking. There's endorphins that your body releases. These are neurotransmitters, neurochemicals. They're chemicals that our body makes to help us not feel pain so that we can endure a physical activity. It's a nature mechanism for our body to be able to do things in the face of danger. Now, if you're just running for exercise or running for competition, it's going to allow you to get through that run, but there's going to come a point where the problem festers because you haven't addressed the root problem, and then it's going to begin to hurt all the time throughout the whole run. It's not going to let you run. This leads me to point number 2, is you're going to set yourself up for more knee problems later. If you don't address that root muscle imbalance, then that extra tension, pressure, compression that the muscles on the front of the thigh create at the knee joint begin to also press on the meniscus, this blue thing right here. You can get a meniscus tear. If this happens for long enough years, then you can begin to get cartilage damage on the back of the kneecap here and on the end of the thigh bone. You can get tendinitis, bursitis. You can even develop osteoarthritis in later years in the knee joint, and even up in the hip you can get tendinitis, bursitis, and arthritis there too. Some people develop sciatica pain, which is a nerve problem coming out of the lower back, the hip, and going down into the knee, even into the foot. And some people even develop back pain as a result of this because of the way that the knee can influence the hip and the back. There's a chain of joints that are all affected if one part of the chain is affected, like the knee joint. And the third thing that's likely to happen if you keep running with runner's knee and don't treat the root problem is you might be forced to stop running. And for some people, this isn't a big deal because they weren't really that into running. Maybe they're running because they had to or because they thought it might be good exercise, but it wasn't their favorite thing. But then there's some people that love running. You might be that person. You might be the person that loves signing up for 5Ks, 10Ks, or you like to do marathons, or you just enjoy running because it clears your mind. It's an easy form of exercise for most people to do. You don't need a membership for a gym or anything like that. You just strap on a pair of running shoes and go. And if you can't do that, then it leads to you not exercising as much and possibly your health not being as good as it could. Or maybe you have an identity around running, like your friends run with you, or you're in a running club and you see yourself as a runner, you see yourself as a marathoner. If you can't go run and your friends are calling you up and you have to cancel that race that you paid money for, you're traveling for even, then it's potentially very depressing. And if you can't do it for a long period of time, because you can't get over the hump, you can't just rest it away, there's a root problem that maybe you don't know to fix, then it might change your identity completely and you have to let go of being a runner. Especially if you're going to the doctor and your doctor doesn't like that you're running too much because they typically will give you the diagnosis of runner's knee if you run more than them. And many doctors don't run for exercise if they exercise at all. So they might say, well, you need to stop running. That's too much running. You're doing marathons, or even if you're doing 3, 4, 5 miles, it's too much running. Some doctors will say that, not all, but there are some. I've heard of stories for sure. So you have to make sure that you address that root problem so that you fix it at the cause. You need to fix the cause of runner's knee in order to get back to running without worry that you're going to have to stop someday or develop knee arthritis or a meniscus problem or issues up in the hip or back. I want to let you know that I have got playlists of videos to help you with fixing runner's knee. Go down into the description of this video and you'll see a link to a playlist. It's called the Runner's Knee and Jumper's Knee Help Playlist. And I've also got a comprehensive treatment program where I put my entire treatment approach that takes you from start to finish on correcting the root problem that sets up runner's knee. It also helps jumper's knee. The patella pain recovery program, you'll find a link down in the description for that. And it's over 30 videos of me walking you through the whole process. It's as if you were here with me and I was doing treatment with you so that you can correct the root of the problem. Hey, if this video was helpful for you, give us a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Drop a comment on here. Go down to the comment section and just say thank you for this video if it helped you out. Or ask a question if you have one. We'd love to get back to our questions. And please share this video with somebody you think needs to see this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.